In this video, I'm going to share with you the ultimate pulse chain launch strategy that's going to give you the safest route. Coming up now. I am looking to maximize my pulse chain on my Pulsex. I don't give a f about anything else out there, bro. All those other PRC20 tokens, I am not interested. You know, the mistake of people who are getting excited and they're coming up with this grand scheme of things of what they're going to do. And they got their math and they say they're going to put this PRC20 token and they're going to add liquidity and they're going to do all of this shit. But you know what's going to happen to those people? Those people are going to get fucking wrecked. That's why. This is the first time ever we're seeing this type of thing happen. So what does that mean? Nobody knows what the f is going to happen. No one's an expert. So what I'm going to do is this. But I definitely ain't going to risk my valuable pulse chain and Pulsex experimenting on what if. When it comes to this type of stuff, guys, I don't rely on what ifs. I rely on facts. What is. That's going to pump my bags. That's going to pump my bags.
Francis Dune Uncensored.
That's gonna pump my bags. Welcome back to another episode of Francis Dune Uncensored, where we tell you the things that you need to hear and not so much the things that you want to hear. There's enough of that garbage content circulating around YouTube, but you know why we do that? Because your feelings do not matter more than the truth, and if you're not being truthful with yourself when it comes to cryptocurrency, you will get wrecked. So look, if that sounds interesting to you, do subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss anything. Now let's get right to the content. So before I get to what the ultimate safest strategy is for pulse chain at launch, I want to make sure that you guys understand these two things. We need to establish these two things first. So I think it's safe to say the consensus is that pulse chain is a valuable token. And the same is true for Pulsex. That's also a very valuable token. I think all of us, for the most part, agrees upon that. And the other thing that I need to really get out the way is this. Guys, look, you need to understand that this is the first time this is ever being done. We're talking about the entire fork, the hard fork of Ethereum in this manner, where you're getting all of these copies and the harvesting and all these things, the liquidity pools, all of these things that's coming over, these PRC20 tokens that are going to be copied from ERC20 tokens. All of this is new, ladies and gentlemen. So what is my point? Well, my point is this. I feel as though, like, when you go on YouTube and instantly, you know, if you're especially like me and you're making like a YouTube video on, say, pulse chain, well, the algorithm is already going to share with you other pulse chain videos. And what I've seen in my feed is, you know, the mistake of people who are getting excited and they're coming up with this grand scheme of things of what they're going to do. And they got their math and they say they're going to put this PRC20 token and they're going to add liquidity and they're going to do all of this shit. But you know what's going to happen to those people? Those people are going to get fucking wrecked. And I'll tell you why, okay? What's happening with them is they're just getting giddy. They're getting excited, right? Their feelings, like what I said at the beginning of this, at the top of the video, their feelings are coming first, and not so much their damn brain. And here's what I mean. Now look, what I'm going to do, first of all, since I've already established with you guys that how this is the first time ever we're seeing this type of thing happen. So what does that mean? Nobody knows what the fuck's going to happen. No one's an expert. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm just going to sit on this chair. Say Pulse Chain was to go live today or tomorrow, next week, and then news come out. A lot of people say that, oh, well, I'm going to go add liquidity. I'm going to go and do all this. I'm going to make a 100x faster than if I was to hold the Pulsex or the Pulse Chain token. I'm going to sit back here and watch you guys get fucking wrecked. All right, and eat my popcorn and find out from you guys what works, what doesn't work, and have you guys be the fucking Einstein of this entire, like, ordeal at launch, okay? And learn from your mistakes, not from my mistakes. So once I see that, well, then I know what to do and what not to do now. Right? You see what I'm saying? I'm going to see XYB YouTuber show everybody that how he did it. You know, he added a PRC20 copy to another PRC20 token and he got wrecked. Right? And you know what else how I'm going to benefit from this? Well, guess what? When people start to go nuts and they start to go crazy and they start to add their liquidity, which, you know, I mean, you're going to have to add pools anyways. I get that, you know, and they're going to get permanent losses. They're going to be stuck with PRC20 copy tokens that they didn't want. Guess what's going to happen? The buy and burn feature is going to kick in, baby. And guys like me, who aren't messing with any impermanent loss, who don't give a fuck about PRC20 copy tokens, right? Well, the price should slightly increase. Obviously, day 1, day 2, day 3, day, you know, week 1, you shouldn't really expect too much from buy and burn because that's a long-term feature. However, it still will add to that, you know, whole notion of the Pulsex being burnt and even Pulse Chain as well. So that's the benefit number 1. The benefit number 2, as I already alluded to, was, well, I'm going to learn from these smart Alex, or Alex, whatever the hell it's called, mistakes. And I'm going to see from them and let them lose their money instead of me losing my money. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be making more gains from it because of all these trades that are taking place. And when trades take place with the Pulsex, we know what happens. It does burn. Another point that I want to bring up here, ladies and gentlemen, is this. There's a lot of people that did not get into Pulsechain. See what I'm saying? They didn't get into Pulsechain. They actually got into Pulsex. I think it's something like 3x more or 2x more, something like that, 3 times more the people got into Pulsex and not Pulsechain. So what does that mean? Well, I'm led to believe, for the most part, that some people, they don't have liquidity right now. People just don't have liquidity, right? It's the bear market. It's been about, a year and a half, almost 2 years now. People don't have liquidity. But what people do have, however, is they actually have that Pulsex token. And what they're going to do, they're going to go and they're going to go buy Pulsechain. And I'm sitting on 50K of Pulsechain and 100K of Pulsex. But my point is this, okay? So again, the buy and burn feature is going to kick in, and the real OGs like me who are just waiting and watching, watching the battle take place and watch people just pretty much fucking get wrecked and kill each other, is going to profit from all of that. See what I'm saying? And also what's going to happen is this: we're going to see a lot of these ratios. The ratio of, say, Pulsechain to Pulsex. So people who want to get Pulsechain now, they got their Pulsex. They're going to go probably pay way more expensive. Okay, let's just say you had Pulsechain. The ratio is going to be freaking, all over the place, right? It's not going to reflect the true price of what Pulsechain is or Pulsex. So chances are you're going to be paying way more. Let's just say that how you added liquidity for Pulsechain and you're a Pulsechain liquidity provider. What happens if that pool is saying, one Pulsechain equals to 1 Pulsex? Well, we all know that Pulsechain normally is, when it comes to blockchains, they are worth more than, decentralized exchanges tokens. So why would you want to put yourself in that situation? I don't fucking get it. So that's my other point. And when all of that happens and people are paying maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times more the price, I'm sitting back eating my popcorn, just watching all this shit unfold, taking notes on what to do and what not to do based off of other mofos' mistakes. See what I'm saying? Also, another huge point is this. There's a lot of people, okay, say they didn't have USDC, but some people would, who didn't even have any Pulsechain or Pulsex at all, period. Right? So they had the large amount of people who only got Pulsex, missed Pulsechain, and they're looking to buy Pulsechain because, for the most part, people believe that Pulsechain will be worth more than Pulsex, right? So we could, see that happen. Their buy and burn feature kicks in. People like me are just sitting for the first few days, are just laughing their ass off watching this thing goes up. But the other thing is there's going to be people who just miss Pulsechain entirely, who miss Pulsex entirely and want to come buy in as well. And what's that going to do to the price? Well, that's going to pump my bags. That's what I put in my bags. So why should I, on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or whatever it is, go and add liquidity to something where I'm going to get in permanent loss on some fucking, PRC20 copy token or whatever the fuck it is, or some other bullshit PRC20 project on freaking Pulsechain that I don't want, when what I do want is Pulsex and Pulsechain. So to reiterate all of that, what I'm going to do is on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm just going to sit back on this chair, eat some popcorn, and watch the mayhem unfold. I'm going to watch all of these people try to figure it out, try to figure out this new invention, right? This first time ever seen blockchain with all of these copies, think they know what they're doing, and pretty much get wrecked. And then there might be some guys that actually do some good and make some gains. And I'm going to figure that out too and see what they did. But I definitely ain't going to risk my valuable Pulsechain and Pulsex experimenting on what if. When it comes to this type of stuff, guys, I don't rely on what ifs. I rely on facts. What is what I rely on, okay? So that's number one. Number two, when all of this mayhem is taking place and this guy's swapping it, this one's on liquidity and this one's buying, this one's trading, what's going to happen? The buy and burn is going to kick in favor of people like me who are just holding them, right? Who are just holding them instead of risking them for impermanent losses for other wasteful PRC20 copies or PRC20 tokens that I don't give a shit about. I am looking to maximize my Pulsechain on my Pulsex. I don't give a fuck about anything else out there, bro. All those other PRC20 tokens, I am not interested. I mean, don't get me wrong. You might find a couple here and there that's interesting that you can take advantage of in the short term. But look, man, I don't really trust much projects on this chain other than the chain itself and the DEX itself. Okay, number three is, well, people that got into Pulsex didn't really get into Pulsechain, and they're going to go and buy some Pulsechain. And what's going to happen? Chances are the ratio is not going to reflect the actual price. It's going to be way more expensive, and they're just going to pump that even more for me. Why am I going to go on even sell? I don't want to sell. This is going to pump even more. So I'm going to hold on to my Pulsechain and my Pulsex, right? For that matter. And point number 4 is, well, we obviously have the people who are just drooling from their mouth right now that never got into the sacrifice for Pulsechain and then Pulsex. And then they're going to come in to buy, and then the price will pump even more as well. So why am I going to sell even? Why am I going to risk it? I'm just going to sit tight, bro, and watch this shit unfold. And when I figure all of this out, and I see, okay, this guy fucked up, this YouTuber fucked up on that, this other YouTuber fucked up on that, this guy fucked up on that, oh, so this worked, that worked, then I'll make my video and show you guys how it's done. So you know what? There really much left to say other than, until my next video, you're on your own. Later.